In a desert crawling with insurgents, an American soldier is beaten and left for dead. Instead of escaping, his local interpreter builds a wooden cart and begins a grueling 100-mile journey through enemy territory, dragging the soldier's broken body behind him. While the soldier returns home to safety, the interpreter is left behind to be hunted. Now, the soldier must return to the war zone alone to pay back a debt that is physically tearing him apart. This is not fiction. This is not just another military movie. This is the true story behind the Covenant. The story begins with Sergeant John Kinley, an officer whose unit specializes in finding Taliban IED factories. After his previous interpreter is killed in a roadside blast, John needs a replacement. He meets Ahmed, a stoic local who clearly knows more than he lets on. Ahmed is hired, but John quickly notices he doesn't follow standard protocol. Ahmed is an enigma. He's a former heroin smuggler turned translator who knows every back alley and every lie the locals tell. John is warned that Ahmed is difficult, but he's the best they've got. Ahmed isn't just doing this for the money. He's doing it for a special immigrant visa to get his pregnant wife and son to America. On their first mission, the unit stops a truck at a checkpoint. The driver claims he's carrying commercial goods, but Ahmed notices the man's nervous twitch. He ignores John's orders to stand back and interrogates the driver himself, discovering the man is a Taliban scout. Later, they arrive at a village where the locals claim there are no insurgents. Ahmed senses a trap. He notices the men in the village are looking at the rooftops, not the soldiers. He warns John just seconds before a sniper opens fire. Ahmed's intuition saves the entire squad. The tension peaks when the unit receives intelligence about a massive explosives factory hidden in a remote mountain mine. As they move in, the silence is deafening. Suddenly, the hills explode with gunfire. It's an ambush by a massive Taliban force. One by one, John's brothers in arms are cut down. The chaos is absolute. John and Ahmed manage to hijack a Taliban truck and floor it into the mountains, pursued by technicals with heavy machine guns. Eventually, they are forced to ditch the truck and flee on foot. They find temporary shelter in an abandoned house, but the Taliban is right on their heels. In a frantic close-quarters battle, John kills 4 insurgents but is struck in the head with a rifle, butt, and shot in the arm and side. As the insurgents prepare to finish him off, Ahmed emerges from the shadows, kills the remaining attackers, and finds John slipping into a coma. This is where the legend begins. Ahmed knows that a wounded American is a trophy for the Taliban. He builds a makeshift wooden sled from scraps and ties the unconscious John to it. For the next several days, Ahmed becomes a ghost. He pulls John's dead weight through vertical mountain passes where the air is thin and freezing. At one point, he encounters a Taliban patrol. He has to hide John under a pile of brush and sit calmly as the soldiers pass just feet away. When they run out of water, Ahmed enters a village known to be sympathetic to the Taliban. He risks his life to trade his own watch and shoes for a few goatskins of water. He is eventually cornered by 2 insurgents. He kills them silently with a knife, his hands shaking from exhaustion, but his resolve never wavering. He drags John until his own feet are bleeding, finally reaching a main road where he is spotted by a US drone. He leaves John for the medics and disappears into the mountains. John wakes up in California, surrounded by his family. He is a hero, but every time he closes his eyes, he sees Ahmed's face. He learns that the paperwork for Ahmed's visa has been stalled by bureaucracy. Because Ahmed saved John, he is now the Taliban's most wanted traitor. He is living in a basement with his wife and their new baby, moving every few hours to stay alive. John spends weeks screaming at officials over the phone. He tells his wife, "There is a hook in my gut, and I can't breathe." He realizes that his life was bought with Ahmed's blood, and he cannot live a lie. John mortgages his house, buys black market weapons, and hires a private contractor named Parker to get him back into Afghanistan. He travels into the dark zone, the territory no longer controlled by the US. He meets a local fixer who takes him deep into the mountains. Along the way, they are intercepted by a Taliban patrol. John has to engage in a high-stakes shootout, proving he hasn't lost his touch. He finally tracks Ahmed down to a hidden cellar. The Taliban have tracked the American and are descending on their location with a small army. The final act is pure adrenaline. John, Ahmed, and the family steal a truck and race toward the Durunda Dam, the only spot where Parker can land a plane. It's a 20-mile chase with Taliban trucks firing RPGs and heavy caliber rounds. They reach the bridge at the dam, but their tires are shot out. They are trapped. John and Ahmed get out and stand side by side, firing their last magazines at a literal army of approaching vehicles. Just as a Taliban commander raises his weapon to end them, and a massive gunfight breaks out on a bridge. John, Ahmed, and Ahmed's family flee toward an extraction point at the Durunda Dam. A high-speed chase ensues, with insurgents firing from multiple trucks. They reach the bridge at the dam, but they are blocked. Outnumbered and outgunned, John and Ahmed take a final stand behind their crashed SUV. They run out of ammunition, and it looks like the end. But at the last second, two A-10 Warthogs and an AC-130 gunship appear in the sky, obliterating the enemy forces in a hail of fire. The movie ends as John and Ahmed are flown out of the country. They don't say a word to each other. They don't need to. John hands Ahmed the visas that will finally take his family to America. The hook in John's gut is finally gone, and the covenant is fulfilled.